can start now. Hi guys, welcome to the second card review for the anniversary box 2021. Today I have with me Elski,
Hello.
a guest from Fight Night, from our last Fight Night, Mono. Are you on? Are you on?
Yes,
Can't hear.
I'm on.
Okay, good. Just testing. And we have Pro An again.
Hello.
Hello. And of course our judge QJ.
Hello.
And I'm your host, and I realized I didn't introduce myself for the past few videos. I'm JJP. I am representing our TeamGA's 1328 podcast. And today, as what we have here, Chilai and Limo, allied assistant. Who's going to start with this card today?
Right, if I may.
Okay, go ahead, Eski.
Oh, you
We'll
may
start
not.
with you.
Alright, man. Like this Unison, Chilai and Limo, I think the art is quite subpar if it wasn't foil. So that's one thing.
Okay, we start with
yeah.
artwork. Great.
Yeah, correct. But then the thing is that for this card, the effect, initially when it just came out as a yellow, we had like problems because the thing is there's only one green yellow multicolor Frieza army card, which was the six drop body from the Magnificent collection. So it was right to wait after a few more reviews to show that there are actually more multicolors Frieza army cards.
Yeah, I was glad we didn't even start with this previously.
Yes, correct.
Now
I mean,
there are
for-
3 more.
Yes, correct. Now that there's 3 more.
Three
There's
more.
three
No,
more.
there's 2 more Brodies and 1 more
Yeah,
Chilai.
yeah, correct.
Chilai, sorry.
So first of all, the activate main, the target range is actually a lot better now. So we can talk about the green yellow multicolor Frieza army cards later. So because the fact that you have about 5 targets to look for total in the deck, which it makes it very, very viable now compared to when it just released. Puan, you got anything to add?
4 targets.
It's 4 targets.
4 targets.
Not 5.
But the thing is, one of the target is a new super combo. So,
Yes,
so,
correct.
so being able to search top 5 for super combo is a huge plus, even though you have the drop 1 card, but it helps you to filter your hand and you get a super combo. Then not only the plus 1 is good, the plus 0 is also good. But the plus 0 you can do it both turns because it's activate better plus 0.
Yes, correct.
So being able to combo from drop, it's like actually a free 10k combo every turn. So it makes people not want to punch your anything that's not a Unison. So the Unison is like the daily defender down there. We want to punch a Unison.
Yeah, correct. There's also one more plus, which is that when you arrival a card, it gets marker. So you can arrival both the turns, and basically it will be essentially upgrade to a marker as well. So generally, it's quite a good card compared to when it was just released. Yeah. So I think we can move on to the next card.
Okay, now we have Bardock Resurrected Lineage.
Yes, the fake
Yeah.
Bardock progenitor is back, guys.
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close. For this Bardock, it can't take a life. It's only the swap 2 is only limit once. When you play the card, all you get is 5k power, and you choose one of your opponent's skillless card and switch it to in rest mode and kill it. Again with the obsession with skillless card, man. Seriously.
Yeah. I think the main thing is the skillless flood is a problem, but it's not a problem lah. But I guess Bandai want to think that skillless are too broken.
Yeah.
But
But I think that it kind of increases the range to also look for one drop target to.
yeah, you have more than Grand Pass now. Like
Yeah, more than Grandpa Guans to play, so it's
Yeah.
actually still okay.
Yeah.
It's not that bad as well.
and
Yeah.
In a sense, it's basically pretty much still the grandpa because you're just playing a 1 drop for swap 2. You don't really care about the rest of the effect.
I don't know.
To be fair, you get one more attacker. It's a 10k.
You get a 10k
it's,
swing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
still a 10k swing. It's still
So
quite
it's
relevant.
still great for
Yeah.
aggro. Cause you're like getting 10k swing for 1 energy. So
Yeah.
and 0 cut. Cause if you swap with the Goten, it's like 10k swing for 0 cut. So 1 energy 0 cut 10k swing is very good for aggro.
Yeah, correct. It's still very relatively good in a sense
Yeah.
that how you're able to have another attacker and basically behaves like progenitor, but it's not progenitor because you don't take a life.
So
So
you
yeah.
make it limit 1, or else you
Yeah,
can do it
correct.
7 times a turn. Something.
Basically, this is Bandai's way of telling you they are never gonna unban Bardock progenitor anymore, guys.
Yeah, so use this instead.
Yes,
We cry.
correct.
Bring out your $40 SR.
Yes, man. It was once $40. So
Remember the time. Anyway, next card.
right, next card we can go down to the meta cooler. Right.
Yes,
I am
boys,
very
you don't
unfamiliar.
Yes,
have
but
something to say.
since you clap, you have something to say. Please go ahead.
I got nothing to say, that's why I clap.
I mean,
More
I'm,
meta cooler support that doesn't have meta coolers.
Yes, pretty much.
No, actually this card is quite good to be honest. Because if you don't start with the meta cooler Unison, then you can use this on turn 2 to get the Unison out. Then the fact that it helps you to, it enables you to put 2 cooler in your deck to your drop, which is very good. So it means your Catalyst Star will never whiff. Because a very important part of meta cooler is you just get value off the Catalyst Star. You're tapping 1 energy, mill 1, and you get play 15k coolers out for free. Yeah, but I mean, nobody's still playing meta cooler because nobody has that many copies of the meta cooler card itself.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even remember the last time I've seen someone play meta cooler in our locals anymore. So
Yes,
I have nothing much I can add about this card.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
Because
it's no longer like a very common deck that you see. Though I only saw it once when I just started.
I mean, unless they reprint the infinite multiplication meta cooler, nobody's gonna play it because you want to play like up to 10 to 15 copies of that card in the deck, and there's a limited supply because it's a very old card. Nobody has 10 to 15. Even they do, they want to keep it for themselves.
Yeah, correct.
It's a supply and demand thing, so nobody's gonna play meta cooler. Next.
Alright, next card will be Ginyu. Former
Our
Galactic
expert
League.
guest is here just for this card.
Yes, correct.
I have reportedly been invited as the local resident Frieza Pod expert on how this card is such a good card. It is not actually.
Endorsed by our champion.
It is an interesting card, but it doesn't solve a lot of the problems that Frieza Pod has to begin with. Like survivability used to be sort of okay with Bergamo, but once that was taken out of the picture, that was impossible. Well, then also because Frieza Pod's only win con is to Hakas 5 for your golden Frieza. That's not a particularly strong win con either, since you're not building a board either way on your way up there. So I don't really see this card being essentially good to help Frieza Pod be viable, but it is an interesting card.
I mean, when this card came out, all I see is Frieza Army, 1 cost, draw 1, golden Frieza, set 1.
Yes.
Good card.
I will welcome any Frieza Army card, especially since I have played a game of Frieza Pod without drawing a single Frieza Army for 6 turns. But
More
enough.
Frieza Army, more good.
Yes, enough about my despair. Let's move on to the next card.
Next card. So we have God of Destruction Topo Skill Breaker.
Yep.
Alright.
One.
Well, this is a much more attractive card compared to the previous one.
Yeah, correct. So this card is actually by far, I think, one of the best yellow cards in the new Anybox expansion. So the fact that it ties in with the yellow topo, it's what you are looking with, what I feel that the deck is looking for. Is that because for the yellow topo, once there isn't a unison, you are basically threatened with like multiple card floods and board flooding. So like when you were to play this card, if your leader is a yellow U11 card, you can, if you don't have a unison, you can play up to 1 Vegeta Unison of Fury from deck with 3 markers. So 3 markers is actually quite a lot of markers for that leader, and the -1 ability for that leader is also for the unison is also quite good because it prevents like card greater than the current energy cost to attack as well.
That 1 plus 0. But anyway,
Yeah.
no,
Plus 0.
it's very good because the whole card synergize with the Unison of Fury very well. Because
With a
when you play,
-3.
He is a
Yeah.
-1.
because
It is a -1.
-1, okay. When you cause you +1 marker for resting with enemy main, so you get
Yes, and
Yeah,
it's a viable finisher for Topo. I think.
Yeah,
it's very good because when you play the Unison with 3 markers, then you
You
can
rest
use
the
the Unison ability to rest this Topo. Then his
Yeah.
second auto withstands him.
And it's also if you already have a Vegeta Unison of Fury, you can just play its +10k double strike. That's even better and more.
But the fact if you don't have, it's still good because the Unison has a -3 that gives it dual attack, double strike, +5k rest on opponent energy. So you can play this for 4, you play out Unison, the Unison has 3 markers. Then you plus 0, the Unison has a activate main that plus 0 marker when you switch a battle card to rest mode. So you can switch this Topo to rest mode, withstand him, you get the 4 marker versatile Unison, you can -3 and he becomes a 2 attack double shot 20k. So you get a 20k. So for 4 energy, you get a 20k to attack, rest 1 opponent energy, and a 20k critical.
Yeah, correct. And I think the biggest plus point is that it has deflect lah. So a lot of things cannot really like stop what it's trying to do for the card effect
No
as well.
more God Shielding technique.
Yes, correct. So like it doesn't the effects for this card is the fact that it's quite unstoppable. So the more important card is the Unison in play lah. So regardless, I think this is a very good card and probably one of the best yellow
It's
cards.
a very good inclusion in Topo.
Yeah. So we can
But
move on
just
to
for
the next
Topo.
card. Yeah, correct.
The best art.
Yes.
Swift
In
Rescue
case-
Dispo or
In case you guys don't already know,
Followed
they
by
reuse
the
the art for Dispo.
Yes, followed by the worst art.
Mhm. Anyway,
So yeah,
Anyway,
wait
how
for
good is this
wait.
card? Let's go.
honestly, this card is you can do very sneaky plays with this, I believe, because all you need to do is if you look at the activate battle, you just pay a yellow. If your leader is a mono yellow Universe 11 and it's your opponent's turn, so if they are attacking you, you activate battle by paying 1. You can play this dispo in rest mode, and then when you play this card, the auto above, you can discard 1, and then you can play a 2 cost Universe 11 energy 2 cost or less from your drop in rest mode with skills negated. So there are the number of targets is actually quite limited, but you can there's a 2-drop Topo, is a 16k. So basically you can activate battle, play this dispo, drop the Topo with the skill above, and then play out the Topo. Having 15k body and a 16k body, I don't think is something that you can clear on turn 1 that easily.
Yes. 7 that plus, especially for U11, they care a lot about successor, and very easily this also potentially sets up a turn 2 topo, which is a turn 2 topo successor, which is also very good to pivot towards the late game.
Yeah, correct.
Overall,
Yes,
art
nothing
is
else?
shit, but the card effect was pretty good, and I think it's something that you can get Jiren back to see more play maybe.
Yep,
Okay.
Universe 11 got some good cards. Anyway, let's move on to the next card.
And it's our Black Bardock leader.
Mhm.
Who's gonna do
Elton, do
the
you
Black
have something to talk about it?
All right. Okay. This Black
The
Bardock leader is
Prismatic
actually
Striker.
one of the more
Actually, pick the front.
it's actually one of the most interesting cards. I feel like among all the leaders who were to be released prior. So the fact that this is a Bardock leader that is going to synergize with the multicolor cards is what makes it very interesting. So for first of all is that it negates all the energy exhaust skill from all the black multicolor cards and reduce the combo cost by 1. So all of the multicolor cards are basically normal battle cards under this deck, if they would be played. And it's also quite an interesting leader being at 5k power, which is a bit weird because Saiyan having 5k power as a leader is quite rare. But however, it seems that it actually makes sense that for each card color, basically if you have 2 colors, it is considered a 2-color effect. So it gets a plus 2k. So it's actually charging a multicolor red and black, for example, it will net it at plus 4k. So the up to a maximum of 10k which makes
There's
sense.
only 5 colors in the
Correct.
game.
Yeah, because there's only 5 cards.
Yeah, and there's only 5 colors in the game, so yeah.
Are they hinting that there might be new colors because they say up to a maximum of plus 10k? Maybe.
You never know. But
New colors.
5-color may be a thing.
No, then they may add like a purple color in the game or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
correct.
Digimon, I mean what?
But actually,
When this card attack, look at top 5 and you can look at black card SS4 in his card name.
yeah, it's correct.
Yeah.
So actually,
no,
there's a lot of targets that you can actually search with. Like for example, what Pro One is showing here, Fighting Fates. As long as there's a SS4 in the name, you can actually basically take it off from that. So it's a very good searcher effect. And the awaken condition is actually quite interesting. So when your life is at 3 or less, or you have 4 or more card colors in your battle area or energy area. So this part is actually very interesting, that the fact that you need to juggle like what is the effect, what are the cards that you want to play, or what are the cards that you're aiming to play for to be able to awaken yourself. So and then the standard effect of awaken is just draw two cards and flip this card over. So I think we can flip the card over now.
I think the fact, and another thing is the fact that he can plus 10k on the front side, so it means you don't really need to awaken that early, because if you charge enough multicolor means you have 15k lead on the front side anyway, so you're not in a rush.
Yeah, sorry, going back
Yeah,
to
you won't need to reduce your life too
going back to
much.
the front side, just need to note that the permanent is not on your turn only,
Turn
it's for both turns.
Yeah,
So
correct.
you can be an 11k leader, which you will probably able to achieve by turn 3.
And two.
Turn 2.
Turn
Yeah,
two,
you have 3 colors. You normally have 3 colors by turn 2. So 11k leader means people punching you with a 10k leader. It is basically a 15k leader defensive. So you're in no rush to awaken.
Correct. And it actually plays in very well with some of the cards that it's motive, like
Yep.
how it's
But the
played.
awaken side is one of the most
Awaken,
interesting
Yeah.
part you will ever see in a leader.
So for the awaken side, we can go to flip the card.
Please
so
read
for
out
the
the
awaken,
auto.
Yeah,
Many people
correct.
need this.
Okay, so for the awaken side, it's very interesting because the thing is that it still has the same permanent. Obviously, they need to have the same permanent, if not, the effects won't work. So when this card attacks, resolve the effects according to the number of non-black colors present among black multicolor cards in your battle area or energy area. So what does it mean is that like you will resolve as much as possible according to how many colors you have that is non-black and non-black colors in the black multicolor. So let's say for example, if you were to only have two colors or two or more colors, the card itself upon attacking will get a plus 5k for the battle and choose up to one of your opponent's battle card and switch it to rest mode. At 3 colors, end of turn, switch up to one of your black multicolor energy to active mode, and 4+ colors, draw 1, then choose up to one of your opponent's unison card and remove a marker from it. So upon reaching 4 different multicolors on the board or on the energy or in the energy or on the board total combined, it will activate all the effects if you have 4. So let's say for example, if you were to do it at 4, there's 4 different colors. You'll be able to draw 1 card, choose up to one of your opponent, release the card, remove the marker, untap, switch up to one of your black multicolor in active mode, and the card plus 5k, and choose up to one of your opponent battle card and switch it to rest mode. So it will be able to collate all these effects together in one swing. So reaching there is not as it will take some time, but then the thing is that it pays off. It pays off for the time that is required to get there. And for the most part, the moment that you are at turn 4, if you have 4 of the energy, 4 of the colors that is required, like red, black, green, black, blue, black, or yellow, black, everything will just pop. So in one attack, it's actually a very strong attack as well. Yeah. So
The nature of the current meta as well, I think, and the
Yeah,
nature of how this deck is with the black multicolor card. I think
Yeah.
it's very likely you actually get 3+ colors most of the time. 4+ is not too hard either.
Because by
correct.
turn 4, you're probably going to charge 4 colors anyway, so you get there.
Yeah,
But, the
correct.
fact, but
like
it also
the-
means you may not want to awaken early, because if you don't get the draw if you don't have 4 colors.
I believe that's what the permanent is for, actually, to encourage the players to not awaken early. So that
Yeah,
it can
that's why the
be
front
clear.
side you get
Yeah,
the draw.
correct.
You awaken 2 only, you don't get a draw. But
Yeah,
the
correct.
untapped one is very good defensively. So
Yeah.
and the fact that it doesn't just count the energy, it counts the battle area. So and there are many ways that we're gonna see later on where you can play blue multicolor battle cards without actually having blue multicolor energy.
That's correct.
Yeah, for example, you can see we will move on to the next battlefield battle cards. We can explain how the engine may work.
Okay,
So
so
it's,
the next
So
one.
we will go to the next page, yes. But before we go to the battle cards, we have to address this. Next page.
Right, so
We
I
have
thought you
to
want to address the
address
leader.
this tragedy of a unison.
Oh yes.
SS4 Brawly, Prismatic Burst.
Oh god.
Noting it has SS4 on the card name, so you can take it with your leader on the
Yep.
front side leader swing.
Yay,
Yes,
no,
correct.
no
This
energy
is not-
exhaust to negate though.
This is not your typical unison.
yes.
So I'll just read out the effects. For every mark on this card, it's plus 5k only during your turn. This is different from your leader. Please don't get this mixed up. You have this odd ability. If this card has one marker, add one marker for every 2 multicolor cards in your energy. That's not going to be particularly powerful, but I'm guessing it's something like an additional marker for effects like Spirit Boost. If you
I
want to
disagree with that because of the first permanent. So this guy was not your typical Unison because normally your Unison is sit down there for multiple turns and try to like take attack
build up the attack and stuff.
or
But then
gain
the
value
thing
for Unison. This guy is like a one shot, one overwhelm. It's like a one shot overwhelm card. So when you play like turn 4, because when you on turn 4 you probably have like 4 multicolor energy. So when you play on turn 4 you get 3 markers straight. So when you play him it's a 1 energy 25k beater.
Right. So
So-
I believe that this card is more encouraged to the later plays than compared
so this
to
is not
I
your
think
early
other
game.
like other unisons, yeah. Like
It's
the other
more of a-
unisons that is currently in the meta that you need to build. It's
Yeah.
more of that it's during that at that point of time when you need another attacker, you can just play out this card and just swing with it. And then the fact that it has a -1 ability, it gets to warp away a threat, and also the auto that is when your leader is attacked, you can -X. That means minus however many markers there is.
Yep,
Then
so
to
you
get 5,000 power for each marker that you remove. So let's say for example that if you were to play at 3, then after that your opponent has a really great threat, you can just -1 immediately off the bat because you know that this marker is not gonna stay. That the moment people were to swing your leader, you will just minus the marker. You will just minus the marker accordingly to your cards, to the markers available. Then after that it will be a plus 5k combo basically. So it is a very very like unconventional unison that compared to what we have that it stays on the board and it's normally just there to slowly build up markers and stuff, but it's just gone, like it will be gone the next turn either. Yeah.
It's a very good one turn Unison that you play like.
Yeah.
Normally like turn 4 because 3
which
markers.
is fitting for black as well, since they don't really have any counterplays that go with having a unison there.
Correct.
So but this doesn't really match up with the leader that well because you can't charge him. You don't want to charge him, and any Unison that you don't want to charge a
Yes,
take card in
especially-
hand. So
it's
even if you
generally a disadvantage.
yeah, but if you think about it, 1 energy 25k late game is not very bad. So
Yeah,
it has its users.
it's a bit weird where you put this in the deck because it's not something you automatically put 4 in. If you happen to draw multiple copies, it's kind of sad.
It kind of jams your hand, yeah.
You only want to play 1 copy of him. So it will probably be a one off or 2 off in attack.
Correct. I think the maximum will be 2 off lah. That's how I see it.
Also need to remind you guys, the minus auto is only procs once in a turn.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, but-
so don't think that it can proc multiple times.
But it's
Yes.
good because how to say it's
Yeah, correct. So it basically it's either like you -2, you should already get 10k, then you just defend the attack.
But because
Yeah,
if you play this on a turn 4, you have 3 markers. So it's a 25k guy that swing 1 time. Your opponent will ignore him. So normally ignore Unisons after doing your opponent turn, they are useless, especially black ones. But these have one use that you can sack him for a 15k combo.
Correct.
So it's practically it's much more useful that way.
Mm.
Like it's a one time, it's like a 15k combo battle card.
And
You
the thing
think
is,
about
you
it.
don't really know when to use it, right? Because it's when your leader is attacked. You can't
Yeah,
because you don't
like-
know when they're gonna all in you anyway.
The problem is like they can swing your leader with a 20k battle card, so you need 10k to block.
I mean,
you can
for-
just,
yeah.
you can just YOLO -3. I mean, I'm just using a battle card to combo 10k straight away. Like it's the same. You just take him as a guy with combo power.
Plus,
Yeah,
let's
no
be honest, if you're in a situation where you have to deliberate between which of your opponent's attackers you should minus markers for, I think
You're pretty
you're pretty
screwed
screwed
anyway.
anyway. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, but
correct.
I think this is quite underrated, the -X part.
Because the thing is that how I view it is that the minus X is basically a 5k combo that
it's
you can
giving
use.
him
So basically,
giving him a combo.
Yeah,
No, giving
correct.
this card combo power when it's on the board.
yeah, correct.
You just think about it that way. Then
Yeah. But then the thing is that if people were to swing this card, that means the attack would likely not be going to your face. So it's also like a shield. It's also like behaves like a shield in a sense. So it behaves like a shield when your leader card is attacked, and it behaves like a shield for itself. But if people were to attack this card, so that's how I see the value, the where the value can be. But then I don't see it as like a something that you can fall off.
Oh yeah, it's
Because
a
of
good,
the-
it's a good Unison that has combo power on the board. Full stop.
Yeah, correct.
That's
So
what I feel.
I think we can go down to the next card.
Mhm.
So we actually
Yeah.
reached the most interesting card.
With the best art.
card that the God Selling Technique card.
Yeah, it says this card can be so basically this card is interesting in the aspect that it has a lot of effects, like how the Bardock is able to have that much effects as well. So like how do you play this card is that you will need to activate fire energy. Choose one card. Choose one Xenon Goku or Xenon Vegeta
And-
from your hand or battle area and place them in the owner's drop. So you lose hand basically when you play this card. Play this card from your hand. Note that there's no deflect, so GST can easily remove this card. A lot of things can do nasty to this card, so it's
But
okay.
actually, because it's on a high cost of 10 energy, so probably
Yeah.
GST is the only thing that can stop it.
Well,
Yeah.
technically you can have the blocker, the
There's
Vegeta
also
blocker.
Cold
as
Blood
well.
Last.
Yes,
There's
correct.
no Cold Blood Last.
There's also the new SC, so this card can be actually quite easily stopped. But then the thing is that for what it has is a quadruple strike. So when this card is played, resolve of the following effect. So this is where the part is it gets this is the part where it gets very interesting. So if you have red energy, you deal 1 damage to your opponent. So if you have blue energy, you draw 3 cards.
Which
Yes.
is weird.
Yeah, which is quite weird.
Blue doesn't
normally
usually draw.
Normally it's untapping of energy.
Yeah.
But for green you drop 2 cards from your opponent's your opponent choose 2 cards from their hand and drop it. And yellow, you switch out to one of your opponent cards to respo, and black you can choose 2 of your opponent battle cards and send it to their owner's walk.
Yeah.
So
Note the
you
yellow
can-
is opponent's cards, so you can switch energy, unison, anything you want.
So it
You-
actually opens up a few levels of like play, like in the sense that if you're able to resolve everything, this card is basically like a powerhouse. Because
Uh,
the thing is, but then the
thing
thing is, it's so
simply-
easily stopped that
Simply
I don't-
speaking,
don't-
if this card is not counterplayed, it's damn good. When
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
counterplayed, you're paying 5 energy for nothing. Okay.
yeah, correct.
Imagine them tapping 5 energy, discarding 2 cards, and your opponent discards
But
trumps.
this is how I feel. This is how I feel about the deck itself. Because the thing is that the fact that it's so easily stoppable, especially by GST and stuff. That's why I believe that the cards below actually have cards that actually try to remove markers from Unison, but it doesn't actually stop better cards as well. So, and the fact that the leader also remove Unison markers, it's also something like them trying to push this thing out.
I
But
think this guy is good. This guy is good. You can play him easily against any non-blue decks, but even against blue decks, like what you say, you have a lot of things to remove markers.
yes, correct.
But the thing is,
It's
the
not, but then the thing is,
policy-
it's not that consistent in the sense that you can always remove markers. So
yeah, but the thing is, like black doesn't really want to play a long control game.
right, correct.
Like
So
for
it
now,
doesn't actually encourage for a long control game as well. Yeah.
because black don't have the defensive tools in it, so like reaching turn 5 and playing this in the current meta is not very viable. But it may not be a tier 1 deck, but it still can be good.
Correct. It's not something that you will fall off lah. I mean, it's for fire energy and it's deflectable. It's not deflect. So
And, and you just need to fight. You just need to resolve 1 copy.
yeah,
Cards that you only need to resolve 1 copy, you never run for.
I mean, technically, it costs 5. Most traditional SCR costs 5. So you can think of this as a SCR that you can include 4 copies of.
correct. So
Yeah.
in the off chance that you can actually play SKOT, remove the thing, then you know.
Cause you actually when you actually resolve this, you're probably gonna win.
Yeah, correct.
Mhm.
If you were to
Okay.
resolve this, the odds of you winning is already very high. So yeah.
Next card,
Next card, please.
Oh.
Okay,
One time of time.
Fuan, would you like to share about this card?
We were
Next
just talking about it.
Oh my god.
this card is
First
rubbish.
super combo I will not be collecting spares of.
Mhm.
This is rubbish.
Rubbish
The
card.
fact that it's a 1 0 plus 1k is one thing. Like if you charge, you have 5 different color energy. It's 11k combo.
Mm-hmm.
And the earliest you can get 5 different energy color is turn 4. Okay, that's not technically the earliest, but in this deck, we're going to charge black multicolors turn 4. And the fact is only limit 1, so you can't use it
limit
2
1 is really
a
what the heck
turn.
is
You can't use the fact that it's just bad. I mean,
Yeah.
just best.
and the fact that you can use the Vegeta super combo in this deck also in the Bardock deck means you already have a way superior super combo.
Mm.
Then this card just sucks. It's a super combo that never got to be used.
So what are they trying to go for with this? Like, since it's like totally useless at this point of
Nice.
time.
I mean, technically, if you have 5 different colors, it's 11k. So technically, it's like a 15k super
Better
combo.
super.
Yeah.
It's
So the
like
art very
super
good.
combo with
Yes, the art is very nice too.
I like the art.
Okay, so
The
for the
favorite
good
part.
one, they have to reduce, give a bit of buff for that, I guess.
No, but then the thing is that the biggest problem is the limit 1. You see,
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
thing is
yeah.
you are only able to use it once per turn. Why would I want to do that if I'm trying to push for a game?
With super
Just for
combo.
additional
I will
1k
just use
power. Yeah.
I will just use Vegeta super combo and just it gets the job done as well. So that's the biggest problem about this deck.
Without the limit 1, I may consider.
Yeah,
Still won't consider. Okay.
It's each color, man. Wait for a 6 color come out. It's gonna be good.
I mean, they may not have plans for it, but with the way they phrase a lot of the cards in this expansion set, it's very obviously saying that if the possibility
hinting
were
for
to
it.
arise, it's fine. It
Is
can
that
adapt
that's
to
it?
it.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, next.
Okay.
SS4 Skull.
Alright, can Tijan please explain this card?
So basically, if your leader is a black Bardock Xeno or CN card with SS4 in his name, you can just look up to 3 cards, stop it for one. you can add up to 2 black cards with SS4 in their name and then to your hand, and then place the rest to the bottom of the deck. But if you take 2 cards, you have to put a card in your hand to the bottom of the deck. This is a very good card for you to cycle basically, and it's free. But it's a limit 1, of course, there must be a limitation. If not, all you need to do is play 4 of these, look through your whole deck, and then hey, you found all your pieces suddenly.
It's only good in this Bardock deck because the amount of SS4 you run. Because
Yep.
if you don't run a certain amount of SS4, if you look top 3, there's a good chance you whiff.
I mean, then again, even if you whiff, you're gonna cycle 3 useless cards, I suppose.
You're paying 1 card for nothing, so you're just throwing 1 card.
No, you're not paying any cards. It's only if you added 2 cards, then you need to put a card. I mean,
Yeah,
okay,
so
technically
if you
you're
add
stealing
1
this
card, you
yeah,
are
yeah.
breaking
Yeah.
even. If you added 2 cards, you are breaking even as well.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of.
But on the positive side, this guy is 0 energy. It's not like a certain bull card that costs 1 energy called Dawn or Evil or something, right? That if you whiffed it, you doesn't even untap the energy. Okay.
Sounds very familiar.
I'm just a guest here to be attacked.
I'm not referring to you.
Yeah, we're just talking about a very friendly card, man.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about how they're printing this type of tutor cards. They were printing this type of tutor cards like very many sets ago, but they all cost 1 energy. And if you don't whiff, you untap the energy. But now they are making it like at most you lose a card. They are no longer making the tutor cards so feel so bad because like whiffing the tutor is very bad when in the past when you tap you lose not only a card, you lose an energy. But now maybe you lose a card. So I love the way they are doing with the tutors right now.
Also, to be honest, I can see this card being played in the SS4 Goku, because you're gonna run quite a good number of SS4 cards like SS4 Goku, Vegeta, etc.
Right.
Unlikely
And the
for you to weave, honestly.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel that maybe even this Bardock Xeno that honestly doesn't really need SS4 call because your leader can already find SS4 and pretty much almost 20 cards in your deck should be SS4 already.
I
So
think the more the barrier. This will be a 2 or 3 of the deck because
Yeah, correct.
deck thinning is deck winning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And any card that can find this guy is good. Okay, next.
Hey, wait, I just thought about it. The leader can actually find this card because this card has SS4 in the name.
You think why am I floating this around?
No, I'm not talking about that card. I'm talking about SS4's core, goddammit.
Oh.
Yeah, so as
Right.
for Goku, you can actually use this card.
Okay,
Okay,
next
next.
card.
This is for Bardock Prismatic Burst. Another
And
card you
now-
can find from SS4
And-
Skull.
the whole chain of understanding how this deck works now.
This is how to say, this is the Omen of Awakening for 1 energy.
But
Wait.
better. No, it's but better.
It's the same thing. Omen is 1 energy with Unison, and you quit the life. But this is better because you put the life to your hand.
And you get a body.
And you tap
It's-
one.
It's like when you fuse Denial of Hope and Omar Awakening together and have a sun.
You don't need a
Bardock.
you don't need a red unison with Prismatic Mark cost 2 either.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, you need two or more black multicolor for it to be a 1 cost basically, and it has to be a 1 red, by the way.
Yeah, you have to open 1 way to be able to enable this counter play for 1. But the fact that you can take 1 life, right, it's not that bad because it means this guy is free and you play him also, so you get 16k body on the board.
Yeah, correct.
And counter playing 20k or less is very relevant right now.
As because the thing is that because of the meta of how many cards there are,
Like most cards are like under 20k. Nobody's ever plays more than 20k cards nowadays. Like
Yeah,
even
correct.
if they do, it's not, it has deflect or something.
I mean, to be fair, this can counter like Topo, Charismatic Leader, a lot of things that are relevant anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
correct.
just I think this is pretty much the counter play that Black pretty much needed.
Mm. Correct. Because of the thing is that because of how the card is also set, that if you were to counter aggro, it also actually kind of benefits you that you get 1 more body and the Topo or like the Bajimbu will just be gone from the board. Yeah. So I feel that this is like the card that kind of were looking like blacks were like looking for instead of relying on Super Kamehameha. That
Maybe
kind of thing.
16k.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the thing is, it only works for this Bardock there because
Yeah, correct.
you have a
Because I think,
chargeback.
because of the energy exhaust and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, next.
SS4 Bardock Prismatic Aegis.
All right.
This is one of the new cards in the multicolor sets that have effects when you charge them as a second multicolor energy. Note, you must have the precondition, you must already have a black multicolor energy in your energy. And this is the second one that you charge. So in general, if you charge this as a second energy, you probably have two colors. And he himself is the third color. So when you charge him, most likely you get to minus 6k to something. Just for charging.
And it's normally all the 5Ks lah. This basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
just-
being able to minus 6k to something just for charging, it's good. It's good.
I mean, you can target Unison too, so screw your Demigra Unisons.
Yeah, you can minus 1 marker to Unison, they are 6k or below. Which
Exactly.
there are many 6k Unison right now for green. Of course,
Correct.
I mean, okay. And the fact that this guy has barrier, so you can play him out with how's it? There'll be other cards that we're gonna review later that can play him out for 1 energy. So being able to play him out, he has a barrier. So then you look at the activate battle, you can minus 5k to something for the turn. So it means having him on the board is like a permanent sort of 5k combos against battle cards every turn. Because he has
and,
barrier, so he's
I-
not good to remove. So this guy is good.
I feel the need also to point out right now that unlike other card games, Black also is a color. So when you're paying for cards like SS4 Bardock, the cost reduced by 1. The specified cost is 1 red and 1 black. So you do need to pay 1 red and 1 black. Black is cannot be paid with any color energy.
I mean, yeah, if you to pay a black and a red for this card to play him out, I don't think he's that good. But the fact that you can change him out with the next few cards that we're gonna reveal is a decent card.
Yeah, correct.
But most of the time he's just gonna get charged. Most of the time he just get charged.
Because of the
Move on to
yeah.
Because these cards with the effect that have effect when they are charged. So you'll probably charge one of each of the prismatic aegis. Take note of the name prismatic aegis. All the prismatic aegis has effect when they charge.
Yes. So since we're on this line, I think maybe we should just skip the next card and go back to it later, the blue yellow, because since we're already discussing on the black multicolor cards, we should discuss how you play them for 1 black energy.
Yes, this is how you play. This is how you play the
Bardock, as
Bardock.
mentioned before. So basically, what you needed to do is that if your leader is a Black Slayer, and you must have note there must be a total of 3 or more energy between you and your opponent. And when you at the end of battle, when this card is used as a combo from your hand, play this card from a drop in rest mode. And why this is important is because you need to pay 1 black, so you can't really cheat it out turn 1 because there's only 2 energy between your opening.
Technically, if you go second, this card is playable turn 1. Because if your opponent, on your opponent's second turn, when he swings you, and you combo him, you can coil out during your opponent's turn.
Well, not wrong, but
Yes, and it's on turn 1 it's a 16k. That's unless your opponent is running a high removal deck. This is not something that's very easy to get rid of.
Then on turn 2, you can use the second effect,
like for the Bardock card.
and
Then
you
you
can play the Bardock
Play
out.
the Bardock out.
Yeah, for 1 energy, you can play many things out. There's many more things down the list. But the fact that this you can use it defensively to protect yourself, and the fact you can choose one of your opponent better cards and return it to hand, you can bounce back stuff like switching gears, so they can use it again. Yeah, I mean,
Like
it's still something.
It's
Piccolo.
something.
Yeah,
And actually, the
because
fact that the bottom activate main is super good because you play something, you send him to work, play something,
But then
Then
you
get
get
it
him
back.
Yeah.
you get him back at the start of the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
So-
and most of your black multicolors are also 16k, so you're not really losing any. In fact, you're actually gaining attack value because you're getting
you're
essentially more attack and
you're
more
getting-
effects with on play cards.
Yeah, because you're getting a lot of value. Because when you combo him, let's say when you this is like a combo that is you can loop him. Like when you swing with your leader, like once you reach like turn 2, turn 3, like for example the Bardock above, instead of playing 2 for him, you can tap, you can swing with your leader, you can combo this guy for 1
Yeah,
energy. Then you tap 1, you play the Bardock from the hand. Then these guys go back to the hand again at the next turn. So it's
Yeah.
an infinite loop of of this type of combo cards.
Yeah, it was worded pretty open-endedly, so you can pretty much play any of the black multicolor cards that
Yes.
cost 2 or less.
Yep, correct.
Cost 2 in your hand. Take note, the Bardock cost 2 in your hand.
But this
Two-
also helps
two,
your
sorry, not
Bardock
less.
leader to awaken earlier, so it's
Yeah,
pretty
correct.
good. Because all you need to do is spend a black energy. So let's say you have a black red and a black yellow, you can switch this for a black green, and you'll meet the requirement already or something like that.
Yep. Because it makes it more flexible because you can play out other multicolored cards without having to
Mhm.
charge them. So you can charge a blue yellow, you can charge a black yellow and black blue, and you still get when you combo this type of cards, you can play black red, black green better cards.
Yeah, correct. Then that will fulfill the 4-color requirement already at the point.
Next,
Next card,
more prismatic areas.
more Prismatic AGs.
This is significantly lousier than the previous prismatic areas in terms of the charging part.
Honestly, I disagree. I think that this card is pretty damn good. Imagine you charge this, and then let's say you're going first. Turn 1, you charge a multicolor. Turn 2, you charge him. And then you just randomly pick up the 1 Unison 2 cost off your opponent's hand and let them draw 1. Think about that. No Unison turn 2, how about you want to scoop?
Not wrong. The fact that the one that is choosing is you can like
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
you
are
can
the one
just
who-
transfer their hatchet back to their hand and they just
QJ,
Exactly.
the QJ has big dreams.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
Big-
he has
big
big
games.
dreams. And the thing is that things normally work out to his favor. So
Also he's just like this card is
personal
good.
experience. Personal experience.
This card is just
So-
good
Yeah,
when you're lucky.
3 people's personal experience.
Yes.
Yeah, so all you need to do, guys, is charge this, pray, win.
But actually, if you notice, actually, and then for the play part is also very good
Mm.
because it's a draw 2,
Mhm.
and of course you draw 2, then you put 1 back to the bottom of the deck, means you're cycling cards, which is fine. But this guy is a 16k. Let's say it's 16k. That causes that can you filter your hand and having a critical.
Mm.
So having critical is not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, in
you-
perspective, it's something like a better shifting gears on play. So
Correct. The
Yeah.
fact that he has a double effect and he's critical and stuff.
Not better because
I mean, you don't get to evolve on top of it, but you know,
no.
16k
You don't
crit.
get to play him for 0 energy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the point.
But this is a 16k beater at the end of the day, and it has critical.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that it's critical is pretty good.
Also,
I like
because-
the fact that they're 16k, so like the leader were to swing into them, they will still have to throw 5k to combo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
16k is a very weird place.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
actually a very sweet spot as well. So
It's not like you're actually losing cards by playing this. If you send the Vegeta, 3 cost Vegeta to your wall, play him out, And then you're gonna get back the Vegeta anyway at the start of your next turn, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's decent to be played. Okay,
Yes.
next.
For all of you are irritated by red green, this thing can hit and kill Piccolo Jr.
Yes, important. Next card.
Well, this card is actually it basically behaves like a dormant legend. Actually, depending on like the type of decks you face. So in most of the current meta or like most of the current decks, most of them are monocolored. So I'll read out the skill. Negate the attack. Play this card. When this card is played, you may choose one card on your hand and discard it. If you do, your opponent can only attack with battle cards and unison card X amount of times for the turn, where X equal to the number of colors in their energy. So it also has a permanent, so that you can activate the counter skill on this card in your hand when you have 3 or more black multicolors in your battle area and /or energy area. Reduce the activation cost of this counter by 1 black. So you can basically play on 1 green if you were to use the effect. This doesn't require you to take a life, but then the thing is that there is utility in the sense that if you were to fight against a monocolored deck, this will be very, very effective to stop attacks coming into your face lah. So, but then the thing is, if you were to face if it was a mirror match, this card will be completely useless because it can attack you the same amount
You're
of
gonna
times.
attack you another 6 more times.
Yeah, so
The greatest weakness is the
yes, correct. The greatest strength is the greatest weakness. So the fact that this card is actually very good against monocolored cards, because the fact that you still play a body out, unlike Dormant Legend, you still play a body out. You still have the effect of when you're fighting against monocolored. It's still a normal potential. Sorry, not Dormant Legend. So it is just a very good anti counter counter attack against monocolored decks. Yeah.
Only one energy negate that doesn't drop. The one
Correct,
energy negate that give you a 16k body.
Yeah, it's actually better than in the situation where you're facing monocolored decks, it's actually better because you actually negate the attack, unlike Dormant Potential Unleash. You don't
Yep.
actually negate the attack. So this actually stops the attack. I play a body out, you can only attack 1 more time if you are monocolored. If you're dual colored, you can only attack 2 more times. So it is a relatively good stopper for most decks that are actually in the aggression. That is actually in aggression meta now. So normally there'll normally be like 1 green or 1 red. It's still 2 attacks that you can stop. So this is why I feel that it's still relatively good. But if you were to face a mirror, this card will be straight away in your energy and you probably won't be using it. Yeah. So I think we can move on to the next card then. Oh wait, sorry. Talk about the permanent as well. So the permanent is actually very interesting. The permanent actually works with the cards that is in the battle area as well as the energy area. So if, let's say for example, you were to charge 2 multicolors, let's say for example red black or blue black, and then green black or red black, a green black or blue black. Then after that, sorry, you need a green energy basically, and you need a red energy. Then after that, you have, let's say for example, a 2-drop card in the battle area as well. That is blue black possibly. So the fact that when you're able to use this card for as long as there is 3 multicolor cards on the board at all times, this card can be used for one green energy. So it's relatively efficient in the sense that how it's able to perform.
It's very good because for the decks for cards with similar effects, either they have like topos and bulls, there are 2 costs. So this guy is a 1 cost that has similar, even in some cases you can say better effects. So it's a good card that will definitely be a fall off in a Bardock deck. So without a doubt. Yep. So let's move on to the next card.
Alright.
Where to start?
So this was the Unison Marker. This was the Unison remover that I was talking about. Where if you, let's say for example, that if you were to charge this as the second energy, if your opponent has a Unison that is 3 or more markers, you are able to remove a marker of it. So normally it's really good in the sense that you want to remove Unisons. You remove Unison markers to prevent like plays of GST or that kind of thing along the way. So generally you wouldn't play this in your hand, but you will charge this instead, so that the effect is actually more efficient when I were to charge it. The effect is there already. So
I think this is a slightly worse version of the other two prismatic AGs that we have shown so far, because when it's played, it's only remove something for less, and double strike is a less attractive keyword than a lot of other cards, especially on a 16k power card. Because double strike normally is once you only want them on bigger, higher powered.
Yeah,
Better cards.
especially since this deck looks like it's gonna go slightly slower than what we usually expect with small double strikers.
But then again, this just means that he's a very good Unison player.
I mean, it's technically you can call it out for 1 energy and hit for double strike. It's a bit of pressure, I suppose.
I mean,
yeah, correct. But judging of how slow the deck actually plays itself, I don't think it's also that ideal to have.
I mean, when you play it out, you're still going to remove something that costs 4. Then you can remove threats, or I mean, like smaller threats, or like any fast decks. Or like, if you want to push, you can remove a blocker, something like that.
And the fact that another thing is that the top part effect, the moving marker, when he is played from hand, it also removes a marker. So when you play from hand, it also removes the marker and warp something. And it means that if your opponent have a Unison with 3 markers, him himself can already clear the Unison. If your opponent doesn't have Negate and stuff lah, but it means that this guy by himself can clear 3 markers.
Yep.
Which is very beneficial to your game plan of not getting GST and stuff.
Yes, and even if you're playing it to get rid of the last 2 markers, so you can't GST. If he does do a Gosling technique or real counterplay, well, that's exactly what you wanted. He's just using the counterplay on the thing that you don't mind being counterplayed.
Yep.
So it's clear space for the rest of your play.
I mean, I think you're gonna play 4 of every single prismatic ages anyway, so.
Yes, but of course, this card has the most value because when you charge it, you now have dormant potential.
Yep, this guy I rate it pretty high. So next.
Yeah, correct.
The worst of the red multicolors.
Yeah, but it's the same effect as the Vegeta. You combo
all the skillless removals, man.
Yeah, you combo it, you bring it out, and then you get to, for some reason, negate skills.
On second thought, this guy may be one of the better combo calling out. Because if your opponent doesn't activate the Unison's +1 skill, like they decide to play the Unison and swing the leader first or something, you can punish your opponent misplay. Because if you negate the Unisons before they use the marker skill, they cannot add marker for that turn.
Yeah, I think this is a bit more difficult to time properly though, unlike the Vegeta.
I mean, your opponent need to play around this card.
I mean, either this has little to no effect, or this can change how the turn goes.
To be fair, this is kind of very good. I mean, if you're attacking your leader, if your opponent has a Majin Buu Unison, you just combo this out and you negate the Majin Buu, and then you can be happy for the rest of the turn.
Yep,
correct.
On second thought, yeah, it's very good offensively against a lot of the defensive Unison that have blockers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's.
But it will not be that useful against cards like Piccolo Junior, that kind of thing, that where they draw.
But the fact
where you just get a draw effect, because normally you will just activate upon activate it.
Not exactly, because when you combo this out against Piccolo Junior Unison, you negate the skill, means you can counter without killing anything. But then again, your whole boss are 16k, so
yeah, correct. So to the first one, you wouldn't even get hit. Yeah.
But the fact that how to say. The main part of the main point of this card is not the negating Unison's part. It's just an additional effect to you want to use him to cheat out other multicolor stuff. The main point of him is to combo him out and play him in the rest book. But the fact that he has a extra plus point effect, so I think this is a much preferred to be combo out over the blue one. Because the blue one bounces something to your next card.
Yeah, this is the Goku with regards to Vegeta. So any aspiring people wishing to play your 10-drop Prismatic Burst, these 2 are your targets. It's actually a lot easier to set up than we would think.
These are the Gokus. Yep.
So I was saying, all you need is technically a black Saiyan leader. So this can be like a tech card. You can put in another deck instead of Bardock. All you need is just spend 1 energy to actually combo him, spend 1 energy to play him out, and you can negate someone's Unison. I don't think it's that bad.
Correct.
You're not wrong that you can actually play this other deck, but the fact that you have to combo, you have to pay 2 energy to call him out.
I mean, think about it. You're spending 2 energy and you can prevent a margin pool Unison.
Yeah,
Well-
for black decks, I think to be able to do things like preventing margin bow unison, preventing like even for the one off Mechikabra unison you see in your locals for some reason, this is also worthwhile.
Okay.
Like even your opponent's Go Hanks unit, the SCR Unison. Yeah.
Yeah, the leader
That's what
requirement
Bloodline-
is a black Saiyan, which is currently all the people who would like to utilize this effect anyway. So
Then the second part, we explain it with the same blue Vegeta, so
Yeah, I think we can move on to the
I
next
think we
card.
can move on to the next one.
Alright. So this card is a very kind of say like well, I don't know, is it their aim to make people want to charge this card to use all the skillless removals?
No, it used
But
to...
the thing is that if you were to charge this multicolor card, the second card, same thing. You choose up to one of your opponent better card, cost 4 or less and negate the skill for the end of your opponent's turn. End of your opponent's next turn. So it's actually like prevent cards like, for example, Alliance, Double Strike, Critical, that kind of thing. So in a sense, it is still pretty good in the way that you can prevent. Don't really need to remove the cards off the board, and just by charging this card, you remove the threat of what they can actually do. So in a sense, it's still okay, but I wouldn't rate it too high on my list as well, lah. So
Well, I think it's one... I won't say it's bad, but the
Yeah.
fact that the other 3 are way too good. Like,
yeah,
I
the
think
red one can kill
putting
6
it
and
on
less.
it, putting it in perspective, yeah, not so much, but in essence, it is in the best case scenario, it is still a 1 energy 16k blocker that you get to negate the skills of one card and rest another card or even KO with his skillers for some reason.
No, the fact that you get the negate part for charging. So let's say you can charge him and play the Bardock that was revealed earlier, you can kill something.
I mean, when you play him, you negate the skill or something, rest it, KO it, because it's gonna be skillless after you negate his skill anyway.
Yeah, but
So it's technically a
that
1 mana
sense,
removal.
in that sense, the Gohan, the green one, is essentially the same effect,
Yeah.
but you get a bit more.
You get to negate his skill, so it doesn't get to pop something out like
yeah.
again.
Like let's say for example, if the person were to play like the Piccolo Junior, the one that has Alliance, you can basically charge this and negate the skill. He's not gonna get Alliance until the next turn, until after the next turn. So it still has his plus, and I think that the whole Bardock Zeno, like the whole Bardock Zeno, the engine really depends on the matchup that you're facing and what you charge actually matters to the play. So
the whole Prismatic Aegis, 4 of them are pretty good. They
Yeah,
have all their own users in all their own unique ways. So
yeah.
I think the deck is very flexible because you can have different cards for different matchups. And the fact that you have like SS4 call to find all of them makes the deck like really consistent. So I'm really liking the deck right now.
Yeah, correct.
So we
Okay,
move on to this blue, yellow, Goku Black. Any comments, CJ?
I think it's a pretty good card, honestly. Okay, think about it. This is a blue-yellow card. It costs only 1 blue and 1 yellow. You can even put it inside the Bardock Zeno deck. All you need to do is tap 1 blue, 1 yellow, and then tap any other 2 color, and you can play him out. Okay, let's say for some reason you even charge a blue-yellow multicolor as your energy. This can even untap that particular energy at the end of your turn. So I think it's pretty good. Not only so, this card has deflect. We hate GST so much, this goes around it. Yeah.
It has double strike. So actually, it's very simple. You can compare, the best comparison to this card is Omuni.
Mhm.
Omuni is a 4 cost that you may untap one, depends on your luck. But this one guarantees untapping of a blue yellow energy.
Correct.
And this guy is, I mean, it's less offensive, but it's way more defensive than Omuni because you get 4 blockers, 10k, and 4 10k blockers. I mean, if your opponent has removal for them, it's the same. If your opponent has removal for them, it's still okay because it's a 4 energy with deflect, double strike. It untaps 1, so it helps you survive. Like this is 4 off in Geneva.
Yeah, but it gets a blocker until end of your opponent's next turn, though, even though it's a 4 shadow tokens and you.
But the thing
Yeah,
is, regardless,
but-
you're still getting a 20k
But
combo worth, so
the
it
thing
doesn't
is,
matter that bad.
the thing is that there is also 4 bodies. Like, let's say for example, you're facing like some mid-game hyper aggro. This will actually solve your problem in terms of defending. You don't actually have to spend cards from your hand to defend the attack. You can just just everything just switch it to rest mode to block the attack and stuff. So yeah, the value of this card is actually quite high. I personally also rate it quite high lah.
And offensively is you get 20k combo for playing 1 card. So
Mhm.
Alright.
20k is
You go pretty wide with this as well. Like if you're going against best case, you're going against an OG brawler. You tap 4 for this. When they swing with your leader, you just get rid of 1 token. You block with the other token. You still have 2 more blockers with you.
Correct.
Provided it doesn't drop your hand, yes.
no. This is you see. Even if you rip off your hand, you have 4 shadow tokens.
Yes,
That's the
correct.
point.
Right.
You
It
don't need your hand to be.
It actually plays around the card as well. So yeah.
Thank you, JJP. I know you are still salty about our body, but if you have this card, maybe you wouldn't lose.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I
exactly.
agree there.
You got
I
another
actually
Goku
see
Black,
that now.
come
It's
on.
giving me 4 bodies for tanking attacks with my Zamasu leader, the one from
Yep.
I can actually see quite
It's a
strong.
very good card for Zamasu leader because your EM plan is to store, and this guy is to store.
Yeah, especially because Zamasu leader, after you tragedy or overground, your opponent isn't gonna go very wide. You can just play this. It's fine.
Yeah, correct.
Yep, it's like,
Interesting.
and this is really good for blue yellow decks because of the deflect and double strike. So
And
it's
the fact that you untap 1 energy, untap 1 at the end of the turn you untap 1 multicolor energy. It's already a plus. Yeah.
It's as good as Albany. So
Yeah, correct.
if Albany is played, this guy is played. If Albany is not played in the meta, then this guy probably won't see play.
I mean, to be fair, Obuni is more of an offensive card. This can be more of a defensive card. It depends on the matchup.
But blue yellow is getting more popular now because of Zamasu the eliminator and stuff. So
Yeah,
this will probably see play.
Yeah, with more blue yellow control decks coming up, with people getting regional cards, this might actually turn out a lot more.
Yeah,
Yep.
correct. This card is actually pretty good.
Now, this is actually interesting for me because I don't really know much about Jedi anymore, even just the yellow Broly deck. But adding in green yellow arrival feels like it changes a lot with what you want to think about deck building. What do you guys think, especially with this card?
Well, I think that this card is actually pretty good. It actually helps with the archetype like a lot. Like Chilai Limo, this is a Chilai Limo target, Unison target as well when you to look top 5. So the next 3 cards that we will see are the new 3 targets for the Chilai Limo the Unison lah. So basically this card is it's what I feel like a buff that it needs. Above that the deck needs lah. Because the thing is that the arrival green Broly stuff has been kind of like dead for like a few sets, especially ever since set 8 or set 9, and ever since it never actually seen any play in like even in a casual setting or in a competitive setting as well. So this card is actually pretty interesting in the sense that when you play this card, you draw 1 card. So tapping 3, you draw 1 card, you get a double strike, you get a blocker, which is at 35k. It's actually still pretty okay to me because of like if you were to play this in the yellow Broly, it will be a draw attack double strike at 35k. It's super hard. It's actually not easy to stop if you really want to try. So and the fact that when this card is played or when this card is switched to active mode during your turn, choose up to one of your opponent battle card or use this card negate the skill for the turn. So the fact that it actually stops some unisons, like let's say for example unisons that actually combos upon attack or that kind of thing, it actually stops that. So when the cards are actually able to stop those kind of unisons, like for example the new Gohan, if you have to play with the Frieza, if I was to rival this card out, the primary objective is that I'm not letting you use the auto from the Frieza unison, and it actually prevents the draw.
I think the best part of this is you have to use it defensively. The fact that it can negate unison skills for example, like King Cole do the triple strike with the unison.
Yeah,
boom,
correct.
You negate the triple strike and I'll take 1 damage.
I mean, it's also it's super good defensively because like your opponent suddenly cannot go all in with better cards or unisons. If not, they might just lose all effectively. All in with better card, just
Another
negate it and KO.
Yeah. It really
Yeah,
throws off like
and
another attack, really, so yeah.
it's a 35k blocker. It's not like anyone really is gonna kill that.
Mm.
Plus, also with this holding up 3 energy, it also may add in mind games, especially because now with people running cooler and in a rival green yellow deck, you might have green yellow energy, so you could hold up 3 yellow energy, and people have to
Yeah.
think: is cooler
And-
coming? Is Broly coming? I don't know.
Yeah,
and with
correct.
the Chile, Limo, the Unison that we saw just now, Arrival seems to be much cheaper because you can combo from the combo the multicolor from the drop area
Correct.
just because the +0 of the Unison. And we can move on the next card because the next card is related.
I think we could talk about the activate battle also.
Yeah,
which is
it's just part of the whole
You-
thing that
Yeah.
you when you play you KO you negate something
Yeah.
you KO something. But this one is the more important one
Yeah.
because these guys had swap 8 and it's arrival for 1 energy. So this guy you can play out this guy, swing with him, pay another 2 energy to swap up to the guy that we showed just now. So this guy is like a mini version of the A drop. But the fact that you have a mini version and a big version means you can you can play this guy out during your opponent turn and play the A drop during your turn. So you can switch things up. So you don't need to open 3 energy to arrival that big guy. So you have an alternative way to get the big guy out. So it makes the deck much more flexible. You don't have to opponent open 3 energy, you convert arrival in the A drop. I need to replay around that. But when you open 1 energy, you can get this guy. So it improves a lot of the flexibility of this whole architect.
There's also one more thing that I feel that this deck is good is that it's actually very good against counter aggro. Let's say for example, Piccolo the Eliminator, like the ones that we always see currently that's on the meta. The fact that when you play this card, I can choose one of the opponent better card with F energy for cost of that and negate the skill. Note that it's an activate main and slash better. So you can just straight away remove away the card and the threat will just be stopped. So you won't be aggroed down that easily if you were to have a card like this in your arsenal. So the fact that there's so many cards, right, can be negated and can be removed, which is targeted at quite a huge range of like the current aggro stuff. I think this card is actually really, really good in terms of like being able to defend for itself and also being able to do what it does best. So yeah. So there's one more thing that I want to add about this card.
Yeah, and also the effect is actually quite reasonable, not just on play also, because on future turns when you say you survive a turn, you attack with it, then when your opponent attacks, because like the green extra card which you probably reviewed in a previous video, you can just tap an energy to restand it and it negates the skill again for both the 8 drop and the 5 drop. So it's actually quite viable. It's actually and then with activate better you can KO it. So it's actually although kind of sad that it doesn't go through barrier, but I think in the current meta it still has quite a strong place in anti-aggro.
Yeah,
Yep.
correct. So I think we can go down to the new super combo.
The next most important card in the whole architect.
Yeah.
Yes, I think honestly this card makes Arrival green yellow so much more viable now.
I think this is a very good super combo because this basically acts like Zamasu super combo from the earlier set. It allows you to rest your opponent's leader or Unison, but not better cards. Then again, it's pretty important already because it stops so many things.
Like our opponent have to swing with your Liga card first.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah,
with,
and with all your Arrival Brolys, you got so many things to negate battle cards and KO them that it's better to switch Unison cards maybe.
Yeah, you
But
got like
honestly, if
Nimbus
you're
and all
playing
that.
yellow, yeah, exactly. If you're playing yellow, if your opponent swings their leader first, you can play Nimbus. Means they're missing one attack too. Honestly, I don't think that. I think the deck that gains the most out of this might just be Search Cell. All you need to do is use the Search ability, crushable everything, and then rest your leader with this particular super combo.
I disagree because Dr. Jero is still better in Cell Search.
I suppose so. I mean, it just open
Yeah,
up
I
more
actually
plays.
agree. I actually agree with Foran because I think this skill steal Chila is better with the Broly stuff, which is more on the tempo aggro side, whereas Jiro is better on the hand drop side. Like with this super combo, and the Broly stuff, I actually see it harder to be playing hand drop, which is what Cell Search usually likes to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think this will be general a good card for green decks. Like some green decks that really have a lot of card draw and they want to, I would say, play more defensively instead of using Paragon Super Combo like some Gotenks leader. You really have plenty of card draw. You just need some defensive power. This is very good because you can rest their Unison, rest the aggro decks leaders. You can do more stuff with this.
Yeah, so if people were to face any green decks or yellow decks, they will generally need to be even more careful. Like facing a yellow deck, you normally be more careful about your place or like your placement of your attacks and stuff. But then now even putting green into the addition to put in the sequencing of your attack is, I think it's a really good addition for this super combo. And with the arrival stuff that is added into it, even the second effect is actually pretty good. If let's say for example you know that the opponent is not gonna play any more cards, and you can just remove a very really huge threat with the effects itself. So yeah, I think that this is a generally a good card for what the super combos is intended for and what the other decks have been lacking as well. So yeah, that's all
So,
for me lah.
also for what it's worth, there's actually a second auto, but we don't really care. If it's your turn, you can choose up to one of your opponent's skillers, better card, and KO it.
Yeah, but if you're running this super combo, you are most likely playing the arrival Broly's, which in that case you are most likely just activating battle KO.
Exactly. So
Correct.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, I'm not just talking about this card in just the Broly deck, but in a lot of green decks where you don't take life, like Gotenks you want to keep yourself at 6 life and stuff. So it's a super combo that can be used very defensively very early on when you're at high life. So I see potential for this in multiple decks, not just the Broly deck.
Let's say for example Slug, like you're trying to go for the late games kind of play,
Yep.
and Slug would actually be a really really good contender for this super combo as well. So yeah, to be honest, this anniversary set, I believe that most of the multicolor cards are actually very very interesting.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll just go through one more time with the Bardock Xeno deck as a whole, because I think we just went through the individual cards and
How good do you think the Bardock Xeno is? Like, do you think you make an impact in the meta? Do you think that you'll be the top tier deck? Do you think that
honestly,
anything?
top
Personally, I
tier,
think,
I don't think so. I think it will be a pretty good deck, but with like how to say, with King Vegeta decks running around, for you to be able to go like high energy, for you to go up to your boss monster, which is a Gogeta, I don't think it's gonna be that realistic.
yeah, I think because of how the colors work, it doesn't makes the deck very restrictive, but it's not too restrictive until it's very difficult to play, but it's still very hard to play this deck because you still do need your specific colors.
But
And
personally, for me, this is how I feel about the deck. It's still too early to tell because the thing is, there's not a lot of Because the thing is, like, in theory, yeah, it can do a lot of things. But because it can do a lot of things, there can be some drawbacks to what it can do. Would I see it as a tier 1 deck at the moment? No, it doesn't. But it seems like a very very interesting deck as to what you are able to do. Because the thing is that whatever you charge and you do play actually will affect your game in the longer run. So who you play out, who you charge, it adds another layer to how the deck can be played.
Yep. I disagree with all of you. I think this will be a tier 1. If you want to be one of the best deck in the meta. Just like when TOEI was released 2 years ago, anniversary box. I think this leader will be very rare. It's just like TOEI, you want to open in every anniversary box. But because of the level of skill you have to play pilot this deck, what type of thing to charge, what matchup you want to charge, what color, because of it has a very good counterplay. Like if you feel your matchup you need counterplays, you are looking for the red cards. If you think you are playing against aggro, you need the green cards. Then you can like targeted search with the SS4 core, targeted search your leader to find what cards you need. So I think it's a very high skill cap deck with a very high ceiling. So
I agree.
So I think it will be a very good tier 1 deck. I mean, maybe King Vegeta is a bit too much to handle with this deck, but as with many decks, if you go first, it's very it's not hard to find this type of decks. But if you go second, you just die turn 2 or something, then there's no, that's how the game works. Sometimes it's like, but and the fact that you can run so many different multi-color, you can play all 4 different color. You can have different type of deck cards. You can put Senzo Pin in the deck. You can put Topos in there. The possibility of deck building is infinite. So I think it'll be a tier 1 deck, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I just think it needs a bit more support.
Oh,
I don't think. Okay, the thing is that I don't think that this deck actually needs support. It needs the actual playability of how good it can run by itself. Because the thing is, if we were to put this in the level that, I don't think this can be a deck that can be easily piloted by a lot of people because of the layer of complexity. Screw you. But the thing is that because of the level of complexity that is added, that you need to think in one more level. You need to think in one more aspect. And like what Paul said, if you are piloting this deck very, very well, you are always in the advantage.
best spot, yes.
Yeah, best spot. Because the thing is that whatever you do, whatever the threat were to come to you with, you can just defend it. And like let's say for example, going first and going second actually makes a very huge difference, because the thing is, if you were to go second, if you were to go first, at the second turn you already got the charge
11k, you
already run the charge
You
effect.
have your counter plays, then on turn 3
correct.
you get your negates.
No, you are forgetting one thing. The most important thing is not all of those. The most important thing on turn 2, your 11k leader.
Yeah, correct.
When you are 11k leader, it means you are awakened. Let's say you defend your life quite well turn 1, you are like 6 life or 7 life. On turn 2, your 11k leader means you're not going down to aggro decks easy.
Yeah, correct.
So there's a lot of point and small details, minute details with this deck that why it is so good.
The fact that the leader doesn't require you to go to like a certain number of life, that kind of thing, so you can actually possibly awaken this leader at like 7 life or 8 life. It's very, very healthy. And
we are discussing, and the fact that you have access to the the Vegeta super combo that can bottom deck draw 2 because you're charging just pure black multi-colors. So you have access to one of the best super combo in the game. You can have access to the best card of every color.
Correct. So I do feel that this deck can be great. But then the thing is that in terms of like the playability of how people will be able to pilot the deck, it's just on another level. It's not even existent in like it's not even existent in the previous metas, in the previous sets or anything like that. It's just a totally new concept.
I have to say it's not a noob friendly deck. It's like when TOEI was released, it's a very high skill. Oh my god, how has one played the deck? But yeah, but it's a very high skill cap deck that I think will make quite a huge impact in the meta.
Also, I want to add one more thing to this Bardock leader. If anyone tries to cheese to awaken on turn 2, like charging a blue-yellow multicolor, and then maybe you charge a like red-black, black-red multicolor, and then just to meet the 4 color, and then once you awaken, your leader will be pretty bad. So, JJB, can you click the back part?
Why is it bad?
Because you see, the auto requires you to have non-black color present among black multicolor in your battle area and energy. So you have a blue-yellow and a red-black, so you're only counting red. So you don't even meet the 2+ color requirement. Your leader is just 15k.
But that's a good point to make.
So it means that this deck you are discouraged to play multicolor, non-black multicolor cards in this deck.
Yeah, I think it actually is quite a lot of similarities with such leaders. You don't want to awaken too early. You'd rather just get value early first, then when you're ready to go, you awaken.
Yes,
Correct.
because the 11k leader. But probably the ideal turn to awaken is around turn 3.
Yep,
Yes.
I agree.
Because
once you turn 3, you probably have like 3 multicolor and maybe a better card that's multicolor on board, which allows you to meet all the requirements of every effect.
this deck has everything. Lucky draw, dormant potential, counter denial or hold counter plays. It has everything.
Probably the
correct.
leader of your dreams.
Yep, he's the leader of everyone's dream. Lucky
Yeah.
draw. Who don't like lucky draws? Pick one card, put it at the bottom of the deck. Haha, your SCI gone.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
guys, if the text of your leader takes up more than 50% of your leader is probably good.
But the thing is, you see, if you think of that,
No,
if you
I have
play-
to dispute you. I play Freezer Pot. Fuck off.
but
Fair point.
then get covered the webcam play and real life play again. You see, if you pick a card in real life, and you pick the head check and put it bottom of that, you can clearly see in their face. But if you do it on webcam, you can't see their face, so you can't see the angle in their face. So
Yeah.
that's another level of mind games when you play in real life.
But
And
then again, it's COVID. You can just pretend you have no expression because you can't see half your face.
yeah, but that's another topic for another time. But saying this Bardock will be the best leader of all time. Thank you. I already said,
Applications for the flank card.
I
Here,
already
the
said to
president.
Chicken that
is-
previously,
just go
either
there.
they give him a leader with the reduced combo cost by 1, or they negate that
Okay, I
exhaust.
predicted that they're gonna do both.
Yeah.
They gave
correct.
both.
Yeah, they're good.
was
They're
correct.
definitely gonna do both. Yeah. So, yeah, I think overall this is a very very good leader.
Broken.
Yeah, it's broken already to the point like if you have 4 colors, it's bound to activate every single skill. There's so much skills that's going on with the one leader swing that you just swing with the leader after playing a card.
You swing a leader, then you must
Sure.
take a checklist. I do this already. I do this already. I
Yeah,
do this
correct,
already.
correct.
Yeah, this leader
And
will
how-
definitely the checklist for you to so that your
It-
opponent is
It's crazy.
aware of what's happening.
When I swing, I plus 5k to this one. I choose that one to rest mode. Then what? A little, I will like, remember to untap. And I draw one card. Then I remove a marker for one. Okay, done. That's just one swing. I haven't even done anything yet.
And everything happens in one swing. That's how amazing this card is. So actually, to be honest, I'm very excited for when any set comes out because there's I believe that a lot of us want to try this new deck.
Meta
Yeah,
deck.
correct.
More meta. 100%.
Speaking of which, I guess we are done for the card review for the special anniversary box 2021, and it looks like they added some new details which they also announced. The first anniversary box design has been out. Is shown right here, and with the contents which we just did all the card reviews in our part 2 and part 1 compilation. It comes with the anniversary pack and reprints. Have they mentioned what reprints they're going to release? I don't think so,
No.
right?
Not yet.
Okay, so we have of 4 designs. The first design is already revealed. It's who is this? Is this Broly?
These are actually
Is that OG Broly?
No.
no, that looks like a Gogeta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Gogeta,
Super
no.
Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Yeah.
Super Saiyan
Xeno.
Gogeta. Xeno. Oh,
Super Saiyan 4, yeah.
okay. And the sleeve design is out where all the SS4
SS4.
good guys SS4 is that yeah.
And look at Bardock not being like one with everyone.
He's over
Facing
here.
forward.
He's like right here, like at the
No,
side.
I mean,
What an
he's
asshole.
facing sideways.
Yeah, man.
And this is where we need to say RP Trunks was not included or given a shit about.
Who? Is that a character?
There's SS4 chunks.
Hey, we all wear pants, okay?
But we all
Right,
went.
right.
But I think the ratio of the to following the same as 2019 one, the middle will be like 1 in 2 or 3 boxes.
But it also indicates that includes new cards to power up your favorite decks.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
The
that's
green
definitely
packs are
there.
reprints.
Okay,
If you scroll up, you scroll up.
yeah. This is
Yeah,
what
this
we
is
talked
the
about.
point.
Yeah, you scroll up some more.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you can see the contents.
Right.
There's 5 different parts of the content, which is you get a special anniversary set, means you get 2 of each of the new cards. So
Right.
it's fixed, you get 2 of every single new card.
Which we
Yes,
just
pro,
reviewed.
on this pro analysis is over and now it's really
Then on the
consistent.
second anniversary box, you get 5 card packs that have 2 cards inside. They have
Oh,
random
10
foils.
cards.
The other way around. You get
It's
2 packs.
2 packs of
with
5 cards, yeah.
Sorry, two packs of 5 cards. They have random foils of the cards and the leader. So you're not guaranteed to get the Bardock leader.
Yep, correct.
So just buy more and you'll be guaranteed, maybe.
Yeah,
Probably
and you
the
get one
whole
super
set
rare.
of 4
Yes,
different.
correct,
Then
correct.
you also get the
cards.
power pack set with the reprints. You get
Right.
you get three normal and 1 foil of a reprint. Like last time you get 3 Senzobin, 1 foil and 1 Senzobin foil.
Yes.
and set of sleeves, storage box.
That we only saw only one design.
Yep, they'll slowly give you the design over the next few weeks and the cards that we're getting reprinted.
Right.
Yeah.
So compared to this, I can see there's a lot of action going on with this special anniversary box 2021 compared to the previous one that, was quite meh.
Yeah, 2020 was a much more dull anniversary box.
It seems
But I
that they
think
were
that's-
promoting Agents of Destruction more.
The problem with the how would I call it? Okay, the fact that this anniversary set, it feels like more of a it's like a multi-layer kind of upgrades to the existing decks that were actually popular and were people were like asking for it as well. So it is you actually see more cards that is like, hey, this you can actually use those cards to play and actually making them very very viable. So there's it is basically much more than the previous anniversary sets, because the thing is the previous anniversary sets, yes, they do give you a new engine to play. So every the past anniversary set what they give you is Agent of Destruction, but the other cards didn't felt that much of a buff. It felt more like a buff to colors than more like a buff to a certain archetype. So this is the take that why people are more hyped up over, because the thing is super combos are included now, and super combos are included to the things that actually needed those super combos. So that's how I feel about the current releases, that it actually boosts up so much archetype that many archetypes can start to see play and
Yeah,
start to
compared
be
to
able to
the
be more
right,
correct in
compared to the
comparison to
previous
the previous
one was only like
correct.
what Agents of Destruction and what else? I think they give a small little boost for like reinforced alliance or alliance reinforcement.
I mean
Something
that
like
Yeah,
like the only other important thing they really like sort of made interesting was that they kind of started green gold tank there.
Yeah, correct. So they kind of in the sense that there's more different type of like options that people can work with, because the thing is the deck is always lacking of something. It's always lacking of one thing, and the fact that this can bring this anniversary set brings those things to the table is, I think, is pretty well done already. Yeah.
Alright then, so I guess that concludes our special anniversary box 2021 card review. All we have left is to watch out for the new designs of the card sleeves and the other card storage box design, and most importantly what they are going to include in the Vault Power Up reprint packs. And hopefully we get some old archetypes boosted up and see more even variants of play in the future upcoming tournaments. So with that, thank you very much for joining us today. That concludes our anniversary box review, and we'd like to send our thanks to our guest Mono for joining us today and sharing his perspective. Thank you,
Yes,
Mono.
not as the beerus expert, but as the Frieza pot expert. Welcome.
You need to tap 16 energy. Right? Okay, and our panelists are Elski, Proan, and QJ for giving us their insights on this particular product. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Right,
you.
and not
Bye.
bye. I haven't said the other stuff yet. If you guys like the video, remember to thumbs up.
Click here, like,
Yeah,
and
click
here for subscribe.
comment and
Is it-
tell us
is it-
how you feel
Remember to
about
hit
this
the bell
video.
button.
If you would like to see a special guest in Asia to join us in our video, just let us know. We'll get them over if they are in the area. Yeah, and also if you like us to do any deck profile that you feel that may help you build your deck towards this anniversary box or for other kind of sets, please do let us know in the comments, and we'll definitely get back to you with the content and future podcast from our TeamGA 1328 podcast. With that, thank you very much, guys. I'm JJP. I'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye. This is the second time.
Yeah, I know, right?